Today we're going to talk about the difference between the power mode and the shift mode of the click reel. You can configure a device in either mode depending on how much lace you move each time you don or doff the device. The power mode is designed to only micro-adjust a device. You turn right to tighten and left to loosen. While this action is happening, the reel is clicking. This mode is perfect for moving less than 3 inches of total lace. The shift mode is a little more advanced. The shift mode allows for the reel to take up lace very quickly for applications where there's a lot of lace that needs to be wound up. But then it'll shift into the micro-adjust function to allow for minor adjustments. To use the reel in the shift mode, the user turns the dial to the right to tighten the lace. When there's excess lace that is loose, the reel will be silent and the lace will be taken up very quickly. As the lace builds in tension, the reel will automatically shift into that micro-adjust functionality. In micro-adjust, the user can turn right to tighten further or left to tighten looser. They know they're in micro-adjust mode because the reel will be clicking. To doff the device, the user will simply turn the dial to the left several times. This will decrease the tension in the lace, which will allow the reel to shift back into release mode. And the user can draw the necessary lace out of the device to open it enough to remove. Now you can tell the difference between power mode and shift mode by looking for the red plugs that are installed into the reel. In the power mode, the red plugs are present. The reels are delivered in this manner so that you can just leave those red plugs in if you prefer the power mode. If you'd like to activate the shift mode, you just simply remove those red plugs after lacing the reel.
Here are some sockets that illustrate the ideal situation for power mode. Remember, in power mode, the reel has the red plugs installed. And power mode is great for areas of panels or areas on a socket where there is very little movement that the reel is going to create. Just small amounts, under 3 inches of lace uptake, that are needed to adjust. A 3-panel BK is a great example where winding forward is going to create pressure. Unwinding is going to release pressure. Just a few turns of that dial allow for the type of adjustment that is necessary. All of this can be easily achieved and easily enacted by the user when the reel is in power mode. Here's some examples of sockets that are configured with the shift mode enabled in the reel. The red plugs have been removed, and what that enables is for lace to be taken up quickly, especially when you're winding in more than 3 inches of lace. On the Revo lock socket, that fast wind mode silently winds up the slack lace quickly. When it reaches the end and tension starts to build, it'll start clicking and shifting. Now, in this condition, the lace is locked. You can wind it forwards or backwards.
To release the lace, turn the reel to the left until it's silent, and then pull the lace out of the system.
The same scenario can be shown on a hinge design. This particular hinge design is configured to have a fairly wide opening, 1.5 inches plus 1.5 inches. That's about 3 inches of lace uptake. If you need your panel to open that far and quickly, then the shift mode is the right configuration for this reel. Now in operation you can watch that the one-to-one fast wind-up closes that panel really quickly. Then you start to hear that dial click. You know that it's shifted into the micro-adjust mode. Now I can adjust the position of that panel back and forwards for fit, but I know that it's locked. When I want to release that reel, I just unwind until it's silent. Now I can quickly and easily open that panel that large distance. Now here's a really interesting example where we have a socket configured with both of these reel modes activated. In the bottom dial, we have that connected to these two panels to create adjustment for fit. Those panels, when they are activated, they're only moving a little bit to create the amount of adjustment that a user might need. That small amount of movement can be done with the reel configured in power mode. This reel, on the other hand, is connected to the Revo lock system. Now again, we want fast lace take up here. So we've configured the reel in shift mode, where those red plugs are removed.
So that's the difference between power mode, which only micro adjusts, and shift mode, which has both macro and micro adjustment. Choose the right one for your patient to optimize the way that their device operates.